Hello everyone, this is JC Santana bringing you the top 20 medicine ball exercises that have survived the essence of medicine ball training from 20 years ago. That's why we call it 2020. 20 exercises, 20 years later. All right, the ABC squat is one of my favorite exercises to work the hips in a multiplanar manner. What do I mean by that? Sometimes during an evaluation or during a squat, you'll see the hips turn one way, and you go, you know what? If I could just turn the hip the other way, all these muscles would get worked too, right? So this is a great exercise for that when you see hip asymmetries during a squat, okay? So what he does, ABC pattern. Every time we say ABC pattern, we mean right, left, center. So what he's gonna do, he's gonna do a squat with a push in the A, B, and C pattern. So when he pushes the ball this way, his hip is also going to go this way to counterbalance. When he goes this way, the hip will go in that direction to counterbalance. And then when he goes into the middle, he kind of finds center. So you have a reinforcement move here. There you go. And there. And so this is the A. That's the C for center. And that's the B. See? Now, he's not exaggerating. A lot of people do the ABC squat and they exaggerate the push. And they want to do that. No need. No need. We want this move to be organic. When you push with this ball, the hips will automatically counterbalance nice and organically, and you get that additional shift over to the one side, working both hips and then giving you a reference for center. So the ABC squat is an awesome exercise for anyone wanting to improve their squatting mechanics. When you talk about toenail to fingernail training, nothing beats the wood chop. Now, this exercise could be done with just about anything, from a sandbag to a dumbbell to a weighted plate. But the medicine ball is usually the easiest, most attractive, most friendly way to do it inside of the gym environment. That's why we have it here as a top 20. Now, it's a squat, but it's a squat with full shoulder flexion extension, okay? So we start, when we get to the bottom, what I'm looking for is this ball has to be right between the feet. I want the forearms to be inside the thighs. And then when you come up, full extension. So give them a couple so they can see. See? Arms are almost extended, maybe slightly flexed, and you'll see from the side what it looks like. All right. Now, from the side, notice that he keeps this straight, and he does get some forward lean into it as a wood chopping motion. So go ahead, boom, and notice that full extension. There you go. We want, and freeze it at the top. I always say, if you don't feel the wood chop below your belly button, is because you have not extended your core fully, and that is key. In this arc, going this way, this ball has horizontal momentum. So in order to stop the ball here, this whole anterior chain gets decelerated. And we want to make sure that the hip flexors here do that deceleration along with the rest of the anterior core. So this is, man, all the way to the top, all the way to the bottom, excellent, perfect. That's what we're looking for in the wood chop. All the way down, flat back, and then all the way up to as much extension as you can get. All right, along with the wood chop, this diagonal chop is an incredible exercise. It is the wood chop in basically all planes of motion, because you're gonna go into a diagonal pattern which involves not only a level change, but a rotation. Now we're gonna show you what we used to do back in the old days, and we're gonna show you what we do now. So show them what we do now. Kind of show it out how nice this looks. Look, see? Look at that, okay? You can go all the way up and get a little bit more range, but this is kind of where we keep it. We keep it in that sweet spot, boom, there, all right? Because why? Stop right there. This is where the money is on this exercise. It's a deceleration exercise. This left butt right here is on fire. Notice, he's just letting this knee drop a little bit, just a little pivot, okay? And this knee is in line with this foot. That's mandatory. Always, the plant knee has to stay in line with the foot. We don't want that and super. We used to do this. That's what we used to do. T. We don't do T anymore. Look at his shoe. When you tee this and you turn this a lot, this knee comes out and this shoe distorts, telling you that you're stealing it from here and here. We don't want that. So we reduce the range right there. And then we go in here. Perfect. Now, if I want to do a little bit more range, it's okay to bring this all the way up here. And notice, he doesn't pivot. He's just lifting up here, lets the hip rotate just a little bit. So look how natural this looks, even when he uses big range. Okay? So this is what we look for in that diagonal chop. It's a very modest drop of the knee. Some people like to pivot. Some people just will drop the knee. The whole thing is to pivot here and drop so we can get that hip loaded in all three planes of motion using this diagonal chopping motion and the momentum that the medicine ball develops. On the way up, your choice as well. We can just rotate here, kind of like a follow through in golf, right? So there's your diagonal chop with the medicine ball, a beautiful exercise to complement that wood chop. All right, this may be one of the only exercises that we repeat with dumbbells or with other modalities, and that is the alternating lunge. Okay, you know that we have the reaching lunge variations, which we love, all right? But the reaching lunge is a great exercise, and it's worth mentioning twice and repeating twice if that's what we do. All right, so simple. From the front, we're gonna look at a nice alignment of foot, knee, and shoulder. Come on back. As you can see, he's in an A-frame. Perfect, great. So that's what we look for. Nice and upright, all things aligned. Knee, ankle, and shoulder, okay? Or shoulder, hip, knee, and ankle, all in a line, right? Now from the side, this is where it gets very, very difficult for most people that have short hip flexors because they sit too much. So what we're looking for is a big step. You can see that he had to balance it, and we're looking for a straight line here. Now, this knee can be behind this line, but it can never be in front. So we're looking for a full hip extension, really stretching out that psoas complex, and this leg right in here, the lower leg, we want it to be totally vertical. We don't want this moving forward, okay? And moving back is a little bit difficult, but perpendicular to the ground is perfect. This is a perfect position. Come on back, do it with the other leg, and that's what we're looking for. Nice and smooth, perfect form. Thank you, Gandhi. And so that's the lunge. Everybody thinks that the lunge is a basic exercise. It is not. It is not, especially with the weight of a medicine ball. It is advanced or advanced intermediate progression, but something that everybody should be able to do, especially if you come in through the split squat. So if you can't lunge, split squat and then move into your lunge progression. But your lunge progression is fundamental. All right, where the traditional lunge really exercised and developed leg strength, but with a long front core, the reaching lunge does the same thing, but for the posterior chain. So the traditional lunge is a great lower body exercise, but it kind of gives us a lot of great information for the front, especially when you're upright. Now we're gonna reach, and this is really gonna get the three amigos, the paraspinals, the glutes, and the hamstrings. So if you want a hamstring rehabilitation, prehabilitation exercise and a deceleration exercise, nothing is better than this particular exercise here. Big step, okay, maintaining the same A. You want shoulders, hip, and feet all aligned, good. Come on back, and great, that's fantastic. So from the front, you don't see a whole lot. The key thing is to make sure that your foot and your knee stays aligned. That's what you can see from the front. From the side now, from the side is where everything gets looked at, okay? Notice, big step. The key feature of the reaching lunge is, you see this knee? You want this knee to be above the ankle or behind the foot. Never there. That's not what I want. There you go. We want this. Why? Because that straightened position, that slight knee flex position is really what gets the hamstring going. Glute and paraspinals. The three amigo. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Go. And I always like that big step. Boom. Perfect. Okay. Good. Perfect. One more. You see? All right. Here, you can get a slight flexion on the spine. That's fine. Okay. If you have problems with the spine, try to keep it upright and don't reach so low. So here, if you need to guard the spine because you have disc issues or there's pain involved. But if you're asymptomatic and you're feeling good, we allow a little bit of nice flexion because that's the way the body moves. Perfect. So there's your reaching lunge. Probably the most effective posterior chain exercise that everybody should be doing in the gym using a medicine ball. Continuing with the reaching lunge progression, all right, the lateral reaching lunge is just as effective as the front reaching lunge for hamstring and lower back rehabilitation and strength, but this one here specifies the frontal plane and really specializes in lateral changes of direction. So if you're a court athlete or anybody who needs lateral changes of direction, this is your money exercise, all right? So big steps, here's the cue, big steps, little knee bend, touch your foot, okay? That's kind of like, there it is. See, so from the front, what you're looking at is make sure that this knee here doesn't go too far out, make sure he's got a vertical orientation, so there's not much to look at. The money shot is from the side. So he's just gonna take one step and then freeze it for you, and we're gonna talk about it. So he takes a big step, notice, his butt gets out of the way. What do I mean by that? His butt goes back, shoulders go forward, and look at this nice orientation. He's got a vertical orientation of the tibia. So the lower leg is perpendicular to the ground, and that's what we want, okay? Most people wanna bend this and turn it into a bodybuilding lunge, and you get more quads. We want the posterior chain right here, here, here. This is the money area. Lower back, glutes, and hamstrings. Now, again, if you've got back issues, okay, straighten it out, reach right below the knee. But if you got a healthy back, we want to incorporate everything. Bend that spine a little bit. It's meant to bend. All right, then come back, give them one more so they can see what it looks like. Perfect. There you go. All right, so there's your lateral reaching lunge, the king of exercises for improving lateral changes in direction.